because even though I put in all this time to get these animals, you still somehow shoot bigger deer than me.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not putting in for the tags and stuff, but in the general hunts and stuff, I do feel blessed.
Yeah,
I've got a few big deer.
Let's tell that story. The biggest mule deer that you ever took, and it's a non-typical points going everywhere. I think it's a 7x9, something like that.
It had all kinds of little cheaters and stuff on there.
So that year, you had actually went on vacation. You went to Hawaii, I think, during hunting season, which I was like,
you were
that's
furious.
that's a cardinal sin in my book. But you went hunting or you went to Hawaii. I had been hunting all year. I think I had. That's the year that I shot my big bull elk, and you were there at the beginning of that.
Yeah.
And I remember I found this herd of deer, $15 in this herd, and I couldn't believe it. And I knew no one was going up there. I hadn't seen any tracks. I hadn't seen anyone driving this particular road, and I knew that this road had been shut down for a few years, so no one had been going on it. People didn't know it was open. And when I went up there and saw these $15, I was like, all right, I'll wait for my dad to get back. And you came back, and I think we went up, I think it was the last day of hunting season, October 31st for deer.
Yeah, it was. We had been hunting hard before that.
Yep. And we went up to this particular ridge, and that day I was feeling horrible. Oh, yeah. I hadn't gotten my deer yet, but I didn't even care. I'd gotten an elk that year. I knew I didn't need the meat, and I was super sick. And I basically said, you can walk down that ridge. I'll walk down this ridge, and we'll meet at the 4-wheeler. And I remember I was supposed to hike this ridge, and I didn't. I was so sick. I literally just walked right back down to the 4-wheeler and just sat there waiting for you. And I heard a gunshot off in the distance, probably half an hour later. And then I got a phone call from you. We happen to have service. Usually you don't have service in a lot of these places, but we happen to have service, very patchy service. And all I heard was you go, I got one. And I'm like, oh, great. How big is it? And you said a 2x3.
Let me just preface this too with it was a longer shot, and so I couldn't really see the horns.
You just knew
I
his
saw
last
the
day.
horns.
It's
I
last
knew
day. It's a buck.
Yeah, it's a buck.
Yeah, and I was like, why would you shoot a 2x3? And I look up literally while you were talking. I looked up on the ridge and saw some deer, and I saw a little 2x2, 2x3 up there. And I was like, I'm off the road staring at a 2x3. Why would you shoot a 2x3 way back there? And you were like, I don't know. He looked pretty thick.
And this drag, you guys, was awful.
It was.
But we were at the bottom, and we were able to carry it all the way out to the road. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. So I am super sick. He's trying to explain to me, because there's a bunch of different finger canyons that go out. And if you go up the wrong one, you could be miles away from the right spot. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to figure out which canyon you shot it in. Yeah. And so you were kind of describing it to me, and I was like, okay, I think I know where that is. So I drive down the road, and then I hike up, and it's a good 1.5 miles up this ravine to get to where you were at. And luckily I chose the right one, but I was sick the entire time. My throat was killing me. But I get up to you, and all of a sudden I didn't feel sick anymore because I see this buck. And I'm like, this is your 2x3?
You were like, what the heck are you talking about?
It was a 7x9 biggest buck I've ever seen in real life at that point in front of me. You see pictures of big deer, but a big, huge 7x9 in a spot that this buck should have never been in, but he was.
When you were walking up, you were about 30 feet from me, and you see it, and I go, I think it's a little bit bigger than I thought.